the job, Dad. You've already given it so much, and yeah, you keep doing it. Kayla, too. Why? What's worth keeping this family at risk? What makes NCIS so damn special?
You know that.
Yeah?
I told you.
That was a look at Rocky Carroll in last night's NCIS. The landmark 1000th episode represents all episodes of the series, including NCIS, NCIS Sydney, Hawaii, and the former LA and New Orleans iterations as well. And here to tell us more is Rocky Carroll himself. Rocky, welcome to the morning show. Congrats. From TMS to NCIS, congrats on everything. Okay, we heard Jared ask his dad the question. Now we're going to ask you, what makes NCIS so damn special?
What makes NCIS so damn special? That is the $64 question. You know, I like to jokingly say, if I really knew the answer to that, I would bottle it and sell it at a very high price. What makes it so special, I think, is, you know, after more than 2 decades now, we've survived 4 different presidential administrations. It's pretty amazing. I think there's a combination of things. I think it's, you know, it's good storytelling. It's very interesting, quirky characters. Although it's a procedural drama, we infuse a lot of humor. People love the interpersonal relationships between the characters on the show. And what I always like to say is, for me, NCIS and procedurals like it are pretty much the new millennium version of Westerns, what Westerns were to TV back in the 60s and the 70s. In those days, every network had a Western. Big Valley, Bonanza, Gunsmoke. And those Westerns were about sort of a simple form of right and wrong, a simple justice about good guys, good versus evil, and a central character who, no matter how flawed or how complex that character may be, he had a certain sense, a certain moral compass that he tried to adhere to. Sometimes he got away from it, sometimes he got close to it, but he was always trying to be the best version of himself. And I think audiences have always gravitated toward that, you know, that they're good guys and they're bad guys. And at the end of the hour, we're going to bring the bad guys to justice. And I think it's something very comforting, especially in the world that we live in now, as complex as things are in the world that we're in now, to have that sense that I know at the end of this hour, at the end of this episode of NCIS, good will prevail. And I think that's really kind of the core behind it and part of the success.
See, I think you guys have bottled it. You guys have bottled it. It's being done. I have to find a distributor so I can find a way to sell it now. Well, we're buying it. We're buying it every week. Let's talk about your character for a second, because you played Leon Vance, who is such a central figure in this universe. How has your portrayal evolved over the years?
Well, you know, if I figured my character is still around after going on 17 seasons. So there had to have been some sort of evolution. I think the character started out pretty much as sort of a stock character, take no prisoners. You know, this guy who sort of came out of the ether and suddenly became the boss from hell. He was very adversarial. Nobody knew, like, you know, what made this guy tick. He and the main character, Gibbs, were always at odds with each other. And over the years, the character experiences, my character, the Vance character, was one of the few characters that had sort of the nuclear family, wife, kids. And over the course of a few seasons, all that began to disintegrate. And it made him closer to Gibbs, and it made him closer to the employees. And I think it cemented him and made him become more of a member of the NCIS family. So now audiences still accept him as the boss, but I think he's a little bit more of he's a little bit more considered a part of the family.
Mm-hmm. You've also had the chance to direct some episodes. What's that experience been like?
All consuming. Let me put it that way. The first time I directed an episode, somebody said, "So what is it like?" I said, I'm imagining this must be what the royal wedding planner must feel like, because you are so responsible for every aspect of the show: hair, makeup, wardrobe, lighting, script, casting, et cetera, et cetera. I have such an appreciation now for everybody who works on the other side of the camera, and I have a great relationship. I'm lucky enough now to have two relationships: my on-camera relationship and my behind-the-camera relationship with the crew. It's incredible. It's like I've learned another language, and I'm continuing to work to learn to speak fluently.
Well, you're doing it so well. Thank you for the time. Remember, NCIS airs Mondays at 9 p.m. on Global and Stack TV. Great catching up, Rocky.
Thank you.